Alright, so hello again. I'm just doing an update here on the Nemesis Dreadknight. As it turns out, there was a lot more work to doing the weapon swaps than I thought. And something I hadn't considered, but let's go back to the magnets. There's actually a ton of magnets in here now. First, this can come off at the hips, so it does the rotate, which is pretty cool. But that does come apart. Will make it easier for transport once it's all done. Since you don't have to have the whole thing, you don't have to worry about potential breakage there. The arms will come off now. Now it means I also had to magnetize it at the elbows with this piece. So there's a magnet here and a magnet inside. Magnetized it at the shoulder joints, so that pops in. I'm actually really happy with this sword. Take a look at that sword. A little airbrush work there. Sort of off the point here, but anyway, so that goes on. This actually comes off so that it makes it easier to do any weapon swaps that you're going to do. You don't have to worry about fiddling around the shoulder up there. And of course, these weapons come off so that if you want to put the hand on, you can put the hand on. And there's also the hammer. Sorry, so there's also the hammer. The hammer can go in there. That hand, by the way, that was sculpted because there weren't enough of these hand pieces to go around, so I sculpted that one on there for the fist. Anyway, so there, that goes there. Hammer also goes in. So you've got all those three choices: the hammer, the hand, or the sword. And the sword, I think, is obviously the coolest choice of all. So then same thing on the other side here. That pops off there. These are actually magnetized at that point as well. Arm comes off. This doesn't need to be magnetized, these weapons, because they just sort of grab hold all on their own. This one is not magnetized. Again, it just sort of grapples on its own. The barrel pops off. Put on the other barrel, sort of twist it until you get it right at the right angle there. And then this piece comes off. Oh, a little extra color there. That piece comes off. This piece goes on. That one has a little magnet to hold it in place. And then depending on whether or not you have, as I mentioned in the other video, if you have it on left or right, you've got two options for that piece. And that is magnetized. It's got a really tiny magnet right in there. It just holds it in place. Just barely. But it does the job, It's like you don't need to overdo it on these things. And that barrel's there. And so it was a little more work. I thought I was just going to be able to get away with doing the weapon swap magnets, on the barrel here, and on the back. But as it turned out, the elbows were also necessary, and then of course the shoulders. And what's cool about that, though, is that it does give you this sort of range of motion to the piece that you don't get otherwise, and of course you get all the options for all the weapons, which is really the important thing if you're playing the game, is you want You want to leave your options open. The only downside, all of the weapons are possible. You can use any of the weapons that are available, but these two weapons, the silencer and whatever the heck this cannon is, they're an either or because they both mount on this chassis. You can't have them both at the same time. You can couple either one of them with the heavy inferno cannon, but you can't have these two guns together. Not a big deal. I mean, I think in the end, for the most part, you're going to have one of the three, not two of the three. But you might go nuts. So the limitation is only slight, but it is a limitation. It's better than being limited to whatever you glued on, when you put the model together. Overall, I think the paint job came out really well. It's not completely done. There's some details left, but you can see kind of the overall color. I really went with the way the heavy metal team did theirs for the most part. There's a lot of airbrushed blue over the variety of metallic silvers, and it's not as pronounced on mine as it is on, say, for example, the cover of the box. But I airbrushed on the blue wash. Actually, those blue washes work really, really well for subtle shading through an airbrush. But, you can probably see a bit of it there. Now, it is most pronounced on the sword. I did the same idea on the sword, but I did a lot more of it. So you can really kind of see it there. And it's kind of interesting because this is really a sort of non-metallic metal technique using metallics. So I really like how that came out. I appreciate non-metallic metal, but it's not something I ever do. It's not a technique that I like to use. I like actual metal flake in my metals. So that's it. It's just about done. I probably have a few more hours of work dotting the I's and crossing the T's and getting some of the details in. The leg doesn't have any insignia yet. Obviously, the base is not done yet. And there are a few other bits of color here and there that need to go. But otherwise, I mean, it's pretty close. I like how the head came out. I like how the red pops against the sort of sea of silver there. Really how I'd hoped that would come out. And, same thing with all the other red highlights. I think they work well on there. But that's it. That's it for now. And, next time you see this, it will be done. I'm not sure that I'll do necessarily another video. You can check my Flickr. Hopefully tomorrow. I keep my fingers crossed. Well, actually, by the time you see this video, it'll be today. So I'll post a link. If I have photos up and I don't have a video of the final model, I'll just post a link on my YouTube page for a link to my Flickr account. That's it. I'll talk to you later.